Okay, we're really starting to come together with a melody and the bassline groove now. Now, what I'd suggest is, you know, you don't have to stick to this original synth. So, starting to look at layers, let's make a new instrument track. Let's zoom in a little bit. And I'm going to go with something like the Korg Poly 6. Pretty big favourite of mine as far as basslines go. I did a remix of the Shapeshifters a few years back, and we used the first preset in Poly 6 as the bassline sound, and it's really wide and really cool. Let me just mute the ES1. Now this is a very, very simple sound, but really, really cool, and it's a very simple synthesizer. There's no glide. And there is no portamento, which is one thing that I miss from it, but it's got a really cool unison effect. And this is something that you can really utilize in bass lines. Now, there are some people out there that are going to say no stereo in your bass lines, but honestly, for me, it works really well in some kinds of sort of electro house and sort of this more sort of new house, you know. I think it works pretty well. It's up to you, you know. But it's one piece of flair you can use. So let's just experiment with this a little bit. Now that's working really nicely for me. I like that sound. But what I think it's better than the ES1 that we had originally. So now we've got our basic groove, we've got our melody, it's quantized, it's controlled, and we've got our extra notes in there for energy. What I want to do now is create another layer and create something a little deeper, because I think that although that's a cool sound, it's not really creating the balls that we want and the rough bottom end that we need for a deep bass sound. So I'm going to create a second instrument. Let's go with something like Spectrasonics Trillion. But, you know, anything that's got dedicated bass sounds in it is going to work very well. Again, don't worry about the instruments that I'm using. Obviously, these are specific to this thing that I'm doing, but you can really use any synth that you want. So let's go with synth bass, and we'll go with deep tones, I guess, and we'll start to just go through the presets and have a listen to what it's a good idea to solo it at this point. And we can just copy this down. And in a lot of sequences, and this is what I'm doing here, I'm creating a ghost part. You can see that it's all in italics, so that any edits that I make in this part here will automatically be moved onto the new part. So what we're looking for is a good starting point, and then we can start to edit it. I'm just looking for something simple, really. In fact, I think that this needs to come up an octave. That's quite cool. There's quite a lot of glide on it, but we can turn that down. Now what you might find is as well, there's quite a lot of clicks and stuff on there, but we can filter that off. So we'll just grab a simple filter. I'm going to use FabFilter's Simplon, but any low pass filter will do. There you go. So we're really starting to create a sub here. Let's turn it down a little bit, and now we can layer it.